All right, so here we have a cross-country trip that I took with my daughter, Brenna. She was about 13 at the time. This is in the summer of 2013. We took in a 1965 Manx Dune Buggy powered by a Volkswagen Boxer. Opposed 4. You'll see the picture here is halfway through the build. We restored the car in 2012. There it is, just about complete. It is a real Manx body over the top of a 65 bug frame and engine. That's the complete road-ready buggy, 50 horsepower. Not a lot, but certainly a lot of fun. We did back roads for a couple thousand miles, all through the Blueridge, up the Shenandoahs, through Pennsylvania, West Virginia. Our trip went from Atlanta all the way to New York. There's the night before the trip. We actually had it all packed with a small trailer. Our first gas stop on the road. We decided to wear helmets because of the wind noise inside the cabin. We had a 7-gallon gas tank. We took some pictures along the way, which you'll see here. There is some video that'll follow in a minute, but we ate at Waffle Houses and we camped out. We didn't stay in any hotels. We broke down at least a half a dozen times, and people like this were just absolutely gems. Everybody stopped to help us. Each time we had a little mechanical failure. This is our first breakdown where our intake manifolds failed. This guy came and actually gave us some. The campsites, they were great. Although we grew weary of camping along the road after, a few days, it got to be a pain. But it was fun nonetheless. People followed us on Facebook, and we got thousands of comments and likes, and it was really a lot of fun. The breakdowns were the best part. Brenna reading inside the cabin. It was a little monotonous. We only did about 50 miles an hour was our top speed. So you'll see all of our gear there on top and in the trailer. It was just a great bonding experience. Me and my daughter had a wonderful time seeing the northeastern United States together in an open cockpit buggy. The trip was just really memorable. You'll see the video of the inside of the cab is how we spent a better part of a week riding along up through 11 different states. We had a failed battery terminal which left us roadside for an hour, but we figured it out. Each time we broke down, we were able to paste it back together. Met lots of people from all over the United States in the campsites at nights, and nobody could believe we were actually driving this thing across the country. I sometimes can't believe it. We once had to tow it with a U-Haul. It was the only thing we could rent to tow the thing into the next town of Winchester, Virginia, to get the parts we needed to fix it. We made it to my lodge in upstate New York in the Catskills, the Little Bear Lodge. After a few days, that's us inside the lodge. We had completed the trip. It was an awesome experience with my teenager. I'd encourage anyone with a teenager to do a road trip like this, or any kind of road trip to bond with your kids. Just a wonderful experience. And you just don't get those years back. Do it while you can, while they're young. We even bumped into Hunter S. Thompson, even though he's dead. There's Brenna and I. Had a wonderful trip. have the conclusion of our 7-minute video of our trip to the Catskill Mountains on the 65 Manx. Brenna is quite the amateur photographer. She's actually the yearbook photographer for her high school. And we took some nice photos, and we did some nice hikes once we got up to the Catskill Mountains. The flowers were all in bloom, and it was really beautiful. We even saw some bears when we were there in the Catskills, and took some great photos and relaxed. We left the Manx resting in the garage and actually flew back to Atlanta. It was a one-way trip in the Manx, so we didn't want to make it into a 2-week trip, and half a dozen breakdowns. That was enough for me. I'm sure it was enough for Brenna. So just some few parting shots. There's the bear we saw while we were visiting the little town of Phoenicia, and that's the parting shot of us arriving at the Little Bear Lodge in the Manx, and that's hanging on my wall in my living room. It just really was a wonderful trip, and both of us will never forget it, and I hope you guys take your trips and make your memories too.